What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discuss all the topics you send through to me on Twitter, bro. And obviously, with the state of this team, it's gonna be a fucking peak one, bro. I can't even lie, man. So yeah, let's just get into these fucking questions because I know a lot of you lot are as frustrated as me. First one, Sam underscore L12. After the game yesterday, Ollie said the players worked hard and ran their socks off. That quote right there sums up our manager. A few weeks ago, when Sheffield United the manager was asked, "Are you proud your team worked hard?" And he replied, "So that's the bare minimum." That's the fucking truth, bro. But you know what? We just have to admit we got a shit Sunday League manager, bro. Like that's what Oddie is, innit? Like all it is just him telling man to run around, yeah. And as long as man give 100%, he's happy. Bro. He doesn't realize the magnitude of the job that he's in it, because he's just been given this job. He's got it pretty much on a technicality. So because of that, he doesn't realize how actually fortunate he is to even have that job. Like Jamie Redknapp said it best, yeah. Like a man shouldn't come from relegating Cardiff to go into Molde to get in the Manchester United job. That their journey, yeah, that don't exist in real life. That is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and he didn't deserve it on credentials. Man, talk about. Remember last season, everyone was saying, "Oh, we need passion. We need people that are gonna fight for the badge." No, we don't, bruv. Like we done that, and these men are running themselves literally onto the physio table. You look at Martial. You look at Wan-Bissaka. You look at Paul Pogba, Luke Shaw. How many other men would be starting if they were fit? At least them four. Anyway, I've ran themselves into the ground, bruv. Man are on physio tables, and it's soft tissue injuries. It's muscular injuries even. It's not like these men are getting hit with tackles and they're out. These men are pulling muscles, pulling up because they're running themselves into the ground, but there's no tactical and technical work, bro, being done. Like Ollie's an absolute joke, bro. Like absolute fraud. And he's not teaching them nothing. He's coming, he's taken over. The feel good factor alone is what got these Manchester United players on that run. And someone even mentioned to me the run that's what happened after Zidane got sacked and Solari as well. They brought in Solari, things looked good at the beginning, and then they went sideways, and Real Madrid did not even flinch to sack, man. They didn't flinch. And that's exactly what Manchester United need to do with Ollie, because the bro's out of his depth. Absolute fucking piss poor manager, bro. He's worse than David Moyes, if I'm completely honest, bro. So it's one of them ones where a lot of people can look at hindsight and say, yeah, but the fans wanted him in this, that, and the other. Cool, that's emotion. But any board that gives a shit about football wouldn't even let us have any influence over who's coming in. They'll just be like, straight, this is the best man for the job. This is who we're getting, brother. No amount of singing Ollie's at the wheel should have got man that job. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. The next one. But these man with these long names, a man can't even read your app. All right, it says, if Ollie were to be sacked, who would you go for as interim manager and later on as a permanent one? This is the problem. This is the only reason why I'm not saying sack Ollie right now. Because who's going to be interim manager? Nicky Butt, bro. You can't give it to Mick Phelan. Do you know what I mean? Because the football will be even worse, if not the same. You can't give it to Carrick or McKenna because they're not experienced. So who do you bring in as interim manager? Like, there's no one available that's just chilling there that would do the interim manager job, bro. Like, there's no one. Do you know what I mean? The only manager that's notable and out of work is Allegri, yeah? And he wouldn't come in as interim. You would have to offer man the job straight up. And for me, I don't think Allegri is the guy for this rebuilding job. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think he would want it because it's too much of a fucking ask. But two, I just don't think that he's the style of manager that I personally would want, or the club should want. We'd want someone that's young, that's a very good coach at improving people, and someone with a bit of, I don't know, someone with a bit more flair about their football and a bit more excitement. Allegri doesn't excite me, bro. Like, he's got a great resume and all that, but I'm not thinking, yeah, Allegri's coming, yeah, we're going to start playing man off the park. I'm really not seeing that, bro. I'm seeing a very good manager, but not the kind of manager that I would want. Like, I'm done with pragmatic, like, football managers. Even Ollie's a lot more negative than he made us believe. Like, he's a very negative manager, back foot manager. We started the game against Newcastle on a back foot. How do you start on a back foot against a team like that? Like, really? How can man be on a back foot, yeah, with 67% possession? That's how shit we are, bruv. So, I don't know, but permanent manager, as I said, I've always been an advocate for Pochettino because I know I've seen what he's done in the Premier League. He's been there, done that. He's proved it. Do you know what I mean? The problems at Tottenham I don't put down to him. So I'm not really... I can't write off the last 5 years of what he's done as a manager at Southampton and Tottenham just because Tottenham are going through a shit time. Because I believe Tottenham's problems come from Levy and they come from the dressing room with unhappy players. So I think I want Pochettino still. Let me know who you guys would have as interim. If you guys got any ideas, like I went blank completely, but you might do better than me. And who would you bring in as full-time manager? Next one is from the same guy actually. When Pogba leaves in the summer, who would be your first choice candidate to replace him? Bro, I keep telling people you can't replace Paul Pogba with one player because he does too many things in the team. Like, he wins the ball more than anyone else. He passes forward more than anyone else. He gets more assists than everyone else. Like, he gets more goals than anyone else from the midfield. So when you're replacing Paul Pogba, you have to replace him with a ball winner and you have to replace him with someone that gets goals, innit? So I'll definitely get Maddison in, but then I would need a ball winning ball winning kind of midfielder, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we're not on this Brexit FC thing, or else them man would probably go for Declan Rice and fucking Maddison. Maddison's got a bit of swagger about him. I like him. I think he could play for Manchester United. He's got that arrogance, innit? As far as a defensive midfielder, I don't really know, bruv. I don't really know. There's quite a few out there, but bruv, it changes all the time, innit? It depends on what style of football the manager would. And we don't know who the summer window, because if it is, we're fucked, innit? I'm going to keep it all the way 100. What are you, little man, thinking for DM? Let me know. And who would you replace Pogba with? I genuinely don't think one player can replace him, but I don't know. Some of you lot might have ideas. At Mr. Maxson, what do you think about the Ajax coach Erik ten Hag? He plays offensive, technical, ball possession football with youngsters and so-called past-it players. We're in a rebuild. Ajax have to rebuild every fucking year, so he knows how to do it. Actually, fuck it, bring Edwin too. Bro, that's the realest shit I've ever heard. Like, I put out a tweet the other day and I was like, LVG is the closest thing that we had to a manager that knows what he's doing post Sir Alex Ferguson. But he was too old, bruv. LVG had the right idea in terms of philosophy, but just his management style and everything wasn't, you know, really suited to modern football. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just think Ten Hag is probably like a younger version of LVG, innit? And that's exactly what we do kind of need, bruv. Like, I always said that we shouldn't have got rid of Daley Blind. He was one of my favourite players, and Daley Blind has transformed again, even though he's meant to be getting on a bit, to like such a vital player, man. Like, his numbers are nuts. Daley Blind's amazing at breaking the lines, and I just feel like a manager like him would be very sick. But obviously, the only thing to worry about is the Dutch league. And Dutch football as well. All of these coaches have like a certain philosophy of playing, and it's amazing. But how well does it translate to over here? This is the only thing. I think that obviously with a technical director and a coach like him, I think we could do some good things. But I just don't know. I think the DOF is very important in this, man. Like, ideally, we need someone that recruits and knows the Premier League. And that's why I think Mitchell would be a good DOF, for the simple fact that he's recruited for the Prem before. Like, we've seen it even under LVG with the likes of the Di Marias and the Falcaos, yeah? Like, just because you bring in the right names, that doesn't mean they're going to be the right fit, innit? So we kind of need someone that has recruited for the Premier League. That would be fucking good. But I do like Ten Hag, and bruv, you've seen for yourself, Ajax are very exciting. Last season they were very exciting, and you're right, they do need to rebuild all the time. They do it on a very small budget, but also the name Ajax, when they come in for players, they're not paying the Manchester United premium as well. So I get what you're saying. I would be a bit cautious about that, but nonetheless, I think it's a better idea than fucking Solskjaer, bruv. You guys, let me know what you think. Okay, Ruza 8. Do all these injuries concern you? Are players faking it because they're scared to play and be labelled? Or does our medical staff need improvement? Bruv, I don't think our medical staff needs improvement at all. These players are breaking down because all these training methods are shit. It's that simple, bro. It's not the medical stuff. Like, these are muscular injuries. So Ollie's got these man overtraining and running around and doing this bullshit. And it's just not needed, bro. Like, to be honest. Like, Wan-Bissaka's someone who would be fit for the whole season at Crystal Palace, come to Man United and he's breaking down. I don't think it's the the medical staff. Because you can't tell me the medical staff at Crystal Palace are better than the medical staff at Man United, because they're not, bro. Do you know what I mean? United will have as the creme de la creme, and if they're not the top level, they're not far off. Do you know what I mean? They'll definitely be better than what Crystal Palace can afford. So I don't think it's anything to do with that. Jesse Lingard, another one, yeah. He's not someone who suffers a lot of muscular injuries. Like, he got the injury when he broke through under LVG, which was an ankle injury, soft tissue. But since then, Jesse Lingard's pretty much been ever present. So the fact that he's fucking pulling out off the ball and that he's pulling muscles, it has to be down to the training methods. It can't be down to nothing else, because he's not someone that gets injured. So yeah, man, I just think there's too many things wrong with the regime. And even David De Gea come out in his post-match interview and was like, yo, this is the worst I've ever seen it. And I know a few people at the club won't be too happy about him saying that, but it's the fucking truth. When David De Gea is saying, yo, this is a joke, understand that dressing room is divided. The next question was, has Ollie lost the dressing room? I don't think he's lost the dressing room, but I think he's losing it. And I don't think he's losing it out in the open. I think there's a lot of players in their head are thinking, yo, like, what the fuck is this? As shit as Lukaku was, Lukaku probably said, you know what, fuck this. This guy's a clown. Same with Alexis, bro. Like, Alexis probably said, all the great managers I've worked under, and then I'm working under fucking Ollie. This guy's a clown. That's why he couldn't keep man happy, because Alexis had no right to leave, blood. He had no right to leave. He owed us something. He owed us something, bro. Like, he really did. And when man's looking at it saying, I don't even want to be here, yeah, and United was meant to be a dream move for him, yeah, and you know what, say what you want about Alexis Sanchez, yeah, you might not have had a great time at United, but his work rate, he works hard on the pitch, and also off the pitch, you see him doing loads of extra work in the gym and that. So in terms of his game, I reckon he just said, you know what, this Ollie guy's a joker. That's what, and I think a lot of players are probably saying that. I know that Pogba must think that this is a joke, and why wouldn't he? And a few other men will be thinking it's a joke, because it literally is. So when Dave's coming out and saying, yo, this is the worst I've ever known it, guys, until this guy gets sacked, it's going to continue. I can see things getting really, really bad, bruv. I'm talking like, think about it. Mourinho had Chelsea 17th when he got sacked. And I think that we're heading down, because Liverpool will slap us next week or the week after, and we could possibly be in a relegation zone. So yeah, let me know what you think. Has Ollie lost the dressing room? And are you really worried about the injuries? Do you think that it's the staff, or do you just think that it's the style of training? At DJ_Andy, Fergie was always cautious the way he's treated certain players, Cantona, Rooney, etc. Knowing if you curb their temper too much, you lose a part of the player. Is that what we see with Jesse? He's a kid enjoying his life. When you take that away from him, he becomes a very basic, uninterested footballer. That's a good point. Jesse's antics and behaviour on social media has definitely changed. He's definitely calmed down a bit. He's not the usual loud, bubbly Jesse that we're used to. Maybe that has affected his confidence in his football. Who knows, bruv? Like, as much as Jesse's been shit, I feel like he's just not happy, bruv. Like, yeah, he's man born and bred and all that, but I think that he's not happy right now, like, at the club. He's not a great player, do you know what I mean? But I think he's a lot better than we're seeing. And this is my same argument under Jose. It wasn't that I'm saying that these players are amazing. I'm saying these men are better than what we're seeing. Because Jesse looks better in an England shirt by default. And so does Rashford. So as shit as Rashford is, yeah, he's better than what we're seeing, bruv. And that comes down to the fucking the style of play. and the manager, bro. Are these men happy? Like, they're definitely, I wouldn't say they're not playing for the manager, but I don't think these men are happy. I don't think they're happy at all. So, I don't know. That could be a part of Jesse, but I think it's more down to do with confidence. Also, the style of play or lack of style of play. I think as a player, unless you're a brilliant individual, you almost have to rely on knowing a system and just playing your role very well to excel. I think Pogba kind of got away with just being Pogba, blood. Like when Ole first came in, because he was so good, he was just doing things. You know what I mean, on his own, without like a real base to build off. But as time goes on, you can't keep doing that, man. Pogba's the only player that's good enough, and Martial in moments, to kind of do something brilliant without everyone else really taking responsibility. It's almost like everyone wants to pass responsibility to everyone else. Or you have it, you do something. Or you have it, you do something. And Pogba will say, cool, I want it. But that's why he gets a lot of the flack. So I think when Martial comes back and Pogba's back, we'll have two players that can kind of do something from nothing. But Ole's clueless. We're not going to see an improvement in the football. He's come out and said that he's going to stick to the shape, which is a load of fucking shit as well. Like, I don't know how he thinks this is working. So I just think the board needs to put him out of his misery, you know. It just says the Green Devil. 850 million spent, but the majority of our team are academy graduates. We have an academy manager with academy coaches, and the Glazers got us thinking it's a great idea. Sure, this time we got them out. How can we do that, in your opinion? Bro, this is exactly it. We need to get Carrick, Ole, McKenna, Feeden, all of them need to leave. I'm sorry. Like, it's one of them things where we've watched Carrick and McKenna Overwatch a sinking ship under Jose keep their jobs, and then Ole's come in. So that decision must have been above board. I can't for the life of me think that Faria left and Jose said, yeah, I want Carrick. I can't see that happening. I believe the Glazers and Ed Woodward have put Carrick and McKenna there, and it hasn't worked. And I believe all four of them, man, need to be removed from the dugout for people that know what the fuck they're doing. Like, it's mad. Like, when you look and think that we're one of the biggest clubs in the world and we have no top level experience on the dugout, like, as a manager, like, what Mick Phelan, you know what I'm saying? He's a number 2, bruv. That's what he is, isn't it? Like, he's a number 2. So it's damning. Like, when you look at the numbers, when you look at everything, and you're right, 850 million spent, but it actually, all that does is highlight the shambles that is Manchester United, because 850 million spent, and out of all that money we spent, what have we got to show for it now? Like, what really do we have to show for it? Only Paul Pogba. Because no player, like, post-Ferguson, yeah, you can look at and be like, you know what, that's money well spent, we got a top player there. It's only Paul Pogba and Anthony Martial. So yeah, that's like, what, 120 odd mil out of 800 and something that was well spent, and the rest of it, most of these men are not even at the club no more. It's disgusting, isn't it? And that shows you that there does need to be a reshuffle in terms of director of football, like CEO, director, whatever you want to call it. Woodward and the Glazers need to fuck off as well. Even if not just the Glazers, yeah, Woodward needs to fuck off for sure, because he's overseeing this bullshit, innit? So he's a big part of the fucking problem. If Woodward was replaced with Edwin van der Sar, cool, then we might kind of see something. But I can't hold my breath, man. These men are cowboys. Like, as I said on Twitter, this is looking like the biggest heist in football history. Ocean's fucking 11, bro. Like, them 4 coaches, Ed Woodward, like, them, man, it's just a heist. Let me know what you think. How would we got them out? I reckon they're done out here anyway. I think we're going to lose to Liverpool. We got Chelsea away. We'll probably lose that. You know what I mean? So I just think that before Christmas, Ole's going to get the sack. I don't see how he can survive this, because the fans have turned on him a lot quicker than they've turned on Jose, and rightly so, because at least Jose had pedigree, and we could at least say, you know what, he's got previous, so he can turn it around. He didn't. Ole ain't got no previous, and I don't think he should be given the time either. Next one, at Philip 15 Dukes. In your opinion, what do you think is the bigger picture with Woodward and co keeping a manager who clearly looks way out of his depth? I think that Ole saves these man money. He also appeases the fans. He saves them money in the sense that he'll chat shit and say, yo, I'm going to play the youth. So with that, it means they don't have to invest as much. Also, because Ole's loved by the fans are probably going to be more behaved and not riot as much as they probably should. And also, I think that these men are trying to accumulate funds because I think that in the near future, these men plan to sell Manchester United. If you look over the years, they're gradually, they're gradually putting in less money than, no, they're gradually spending less money than they're recouping, which tells you, that these men are trying to keep the net spend down. I just genuinely think that they're trying to sell. I think that they're trying to milk Manchester United marketing-wise and build up the revenue as high as possible whilst just recouping loads of money so they can take it and dip. That's what I think. I think that they have to be planning to sell it, because if you're an owner that plans on keeping this long term, surely success is the thing that you want for your club, because success means more money will come in. Liverpool are doing well now. They're getting the Nike sponsorship. Nike will probably give them a bigger deal than most of the other clubs, because Liverpool are one of the best football clubs in the world now. So they're going to get a big kit deal, and then off the back of the kit deal, they get sleeve deals and all these other things. There's no better way to attract interest than being successful. And also, the more successful you are, the more you can ask for. Manchester United can't ask for the top whack when they're not winning trophies, blood, because all the new people coming through ain't going to be supporting Manchester United. This legacy thing, people think it lasts forever. It don't. All these youths growing up now are going to support Liverpool and Man City if that's how they're playing football. So yeah, like, it doesn't really matter. People say, oh yeah, but they're going to support the team their parents support. Not necessarily, innit? Not necessarily. That's not how it always works, man. You'll get certain kids that will be free-spirited and say, you know what, I like the way Man City play football. I'm going to support Man City. There might be certain man from London, that see Raheem Sterling and say, yo, Raheem Sterling plays for Man City. I like Raheem Sterling. I'm going to support Man City, bro. Because a lot of men support fucking Arsenal because of Ian Wright, bro. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason why a man can't support Man City for Raheem Sterling. Like, it happens. It only takes one player to capture your imagination and all of a sudden you support that team. That happened to me with Eric Cantona, like. Or else I'd have supported Tottenham like my brother. So it only takes one player. There's no guarantee. Or someone might say, oh, right, I like Mo Salah. I'm going to support Liverpool. So all this Man United getting in this piece, it's not going to last forever. So these man, let's just hope that they're selling, innit? Or else them man don't have a clue. Let me know what you think about that. Do you reckon them man are genuinely putting up for sale? I can't think of anything more logical. But then again, there's nothing logical about what these men are doing. I don't know what this guy's thinking. It just says Arsenal FC, we are something. I don't know. The real problem for United is the Glazers, because Woodward is only doing his job, which is to meet the financial targets. A DOF would solve problems for you and guide Ole. I don't think so. You know why I don't think so, bro? Woodward's not doing his job. Woodward is the CEO, innit? Like, so technically Woodward is what Edwin van der Sar is for Ajax. Edwin van der Sar is a football man. Ed Woodward isn't. He's a rugby fan as well, bruv. He's one of them prats, bruv. Like, I've seen him. Like, I've seen videos of him at the England rugby and that. Like, he's a proper rugby boy. He's not a football boy. He don't understand football. He's not doing his job. Obviously, he's doing the commercial side because he's a fucking accountant and he's just trying to bring money in. But if he was a football fan and he knew football, he could still be wrapping up deals, bruv. How's it going to take you five weeks, to just pay Leicester what they asked for Harry Maguire? So what did you negotiate, bruv? You could have just slapped the money down and saved man 5 weeks, cuz. You see what I'm saying? You don't negotiate for 5 weeks to pay what they asked for anyway. That's not how you do it. So, he's a fucking clown. You swap him for Edwin, and it's a different ball game from the jump. From the jump. Man know that Woodward don't know shit about football, so when we go to them, they're already slapping 10 mil on the end of it. Just by default. Man don't respect Ed Woodward in the negotiating at the negotiating table because he's a punk. So I think yes, a DOF would help, but Ole doesn't need guidance, Ole needs to be sacked because he's not good enough, bro. Like, It's that simple. Even if we had a DOF and we got the right players in, Ollie, I don't even trust him to put them in the right positions and even to improve them. Because if we're going down the young route, Ollie can't teach man nothing. Andreas is looking dead out here. Rashford is getting worse. Do you know what I mean? What's Ollie teaching these men? He's not teaching them shit. He's not the right coach to lead a young team. Like, not in the Premier League. Maybe in fucking Norway, bruv. But not in the Prem. He's not the guy. And last but not least, at MH15312. I don't know how you man get these ats with bare numbers. They just give it to you or something. I don't know. Actually, what do you make of Fred? Can he cut it at this level or is he a fraud? Look forward to your brutal and honest assessment. You know what it is, yeah? What I said about Fred, and I'm going to stick to it. Because a lot of people, do not understand that football is a game of systems. Football is a game of systems. A lot of men are looking at Fred, not playing well, and like say giving the ball away and all these things and be like, yo, Fred's a shit footballer, Fred's a shit footballer. If you watch Fred at Shakhtar, you'll see he's not a shit footballer. Also, for Fred to even make the Brazilian squad out of the pool of players these men have got, that means he's highly rated in Brazil. That's no small feat, you know. So when man are writing off Fred, I think that Fred is a victim of the players around him. The same thing I said about Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez is not the player he was, but I believe if he was around better players in a better system, you see a better Alexis Sanchez. Because technically he's a good player, he works hard, and he will score goals if you get him through on goal. The problem is, the way the team was building up, he weren't getting them chances. The Alexis Sanchez that we saw at Arsenal the season before, he signed for us, that man didn't just die, blood. Like, he didn't just die. Like, there was a player in there. And the same goes for Fred. If Fred's in a system where there's players around him moving off the ball, they're making these runs, because Fred likes to play the ball forward a lot. But most of the time, these men are not moving for the ball. They're stationary. So Fred is still going to try and play the ball because in his mind, he only knows that, bruv. Like, you see in like last game, he wasn't trying to play forward as much. Because I think it's a combination of his confidence going down, but the movement in front of him is very bad. A player like him. I think our lack of attacking shape is what makes Fred look that bad. Because actually, when it comes to tenacity and winning the ball back, he's very mobile, bro. He's nippy, he picks up the ball and that, and he wants to release it quickly. But there needs to be willing runners off the ball. The same can even be said about Pogba. People complain and say, oh, Pogba loses the ball. He doesn't lose the ball when he's playing for France like that, bro. Man finished the game like in the early 90s for pass completion because as soon as he picks up the ball, there's an option on. When you pick up a ball for Man United, you've got players like Jesse Lingard, players like Rashford, players like Andreas Pereira that are hiding, bro. They don't want the ball. It's one thing kind of playing in the pocket and that, but these men are running away from the ball. As soon as you pick up the ball, Marcus Rashford runs away from the ball. That's why he had 9 touches in the first 45 minutes against Newcastle, because he doesn't know how to come short, shield the ball, hold it off from a defender, play it off, turn, or just hold it and wait for people to catch up with the play, which is why Martial as centre forward is vital in this system. We've got too many players with such low football IQs that players like Fred that are brave and want to try things, and even Alexis to a certain extent, these men are going to look shit, fam, because there's nothing on. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not throwing in the towel and saying, yo, Fred's shit, bruv, like a lot of other people are, because Fred showed me in the Champions League and on other occasions, and Champions League for us as well, do you know what I mean, against Barca, against PSG, where he was our best player probably in both games, in the Champions League for Shakhtar, and other things, that there's a player in there, bruv. So I'm not giving up on him yet. I do think his confidence is low. He looks a frustrated figure, but I think that's more to do with the man around him. I know a lot of you that have written him off, but let me know anyway in the comment section. That was your Rants Red Talk. Smash the like if you haven't already. You probably should have already. You already know the drill. Big up everyone supporting the shows. Make sure you add me up on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Rants and Bants. And yeah, what have we got? Oh, that's the fucking international break now. Yeah, that's dead, fam. I can't even lie. I ain't going to be doing no England reviews or nothing like that. So, who knows? I might just do an extra show or something. And then, yeah, I look forward to Liverpool next week. as I said, Ashley Young's probably going to be lying in bed after pocketing Mo Salah, bruv. Like, this is just the team we are right now. As shit as we are, you know, Ashley Young, probably just pocket man, bruv. Not saying we ain't going to get slapped, because we will, but I reckon Young still pockets him, bruv. Man, draw out 1-2 nibbles, man. Big up for watching the show. And I'll catch you lot in a bit.